everybody and welcome. This is me, Arnav Vashisth from the Code Pulse, and today we are going to start learning computer science and coding. So, let me just give you a bit of introduction about myself. I am Arnav Vashisth, an award-winning software developer. I started learning coding with Udemy through a scratch course. Then, because the instructor wasn't able to keep up with my questions, I enrolled myself into White Hat Junior to learn coding. And now I'm going to teach you everything I know. So let me just tell you an overview of what I know. HTML, CSS, HTML5, CSS3 and JS. Wait. Don't skip this part of the video. Is that JS or is that JS? Well, certainly this isn't JS, okay? Because it's not JS. Server-side JS. Okay. This isn't JS either because it's not JS. Server-side JS. A JavaScript framework. That is what Node.js is. And we are not going to learn Node.js in module 1. Of course not. Then I know P5.js, which is a library for JavaScript. I know ML5.js, which again is a library for JavaScript. This is basically for machine learning, ML5.js. Okay. And P5.js is basically for drawing shapes like circles, like triangles, 2D and 3D shapes. That's the major function of P5.js. So, now I just gave you an overview of what I know. But then we need to again consider something else also. That is, we're going to start with block-based platforms. Okay, like before I talk about block-based, okay, I almost forgot. Thank God I remembered it. I have won WORLDCODINGBEE Season 1. Yes. This is my picture. Arnav Vashisth! I won it. Yay! So, now coming back to what we were talking about. Back. So, we were saying that if you type in HTML, okay, like how do we code? Okay? Let's for a second think that we are starting with HTML. Okay, so how do we code? Do we type an endless succession of zeros and ones? Do beginners also do that? Certainly not. Do experts do that? I will come back in a second. So first we will start learning block-based code, okay, which basically through platforms like Thunkable and CodeFerry, okay, and then we are gonna go to text-based code so that you have a taste of what text-based coding really is, because that's what you're gonna use every day. HTML, CSS, and JS. Now this is the real text-based code, and then the module 1 will get over. No, before that we will be learning a few JS libraries, and we will be learning Bootstrap. Okay. And then the module 1 will be over. Then in the module 2, okay, we will be learning React Native, Python, and many other languages, which we will come to when we start module 2, because we should focus on module 1 first. Now when we reach the text-based coding place, we will type this endless succession of zeros and ones forever? No. Software developers used to do that before Ada Lovelace built COBOL. COBOL was one of the first programming languages ever. But today what we do is we type human readable code which based on English again is not fully English. But you can understand it more easily than you could understand that endless succession of zeros and ones. So you can make something out of this code, but you cannot exactly understand what it does. Okay, head looks like the head of somebody, but you can really get what it's saying, and you can understand the syntax of these programming languages much faster. You could understand the syntax of endless zeros and ones, with sometimes even prompted errors. Sorry for that tone. Okay, I changed my accent. Sorry. So now let me show you a few IDs. VS Code is one of the IDE. Okay. Wait, what is an IDE? I said the word IDE, and you will be bewildered by now. And if I don't explain, you're gonna fall off. So IDE is Integrated Development Environment. It's an environment, okay. So as the name suggests, it's a development environment. You can develop stuff here, okay. Compiler is something which compiles the code. Now it's again not magic. You're typing this thing, okay, instead of binary code, okay, with zeros and ones. But how will the computer understand? So at the end of the day, you need a compiler in which you will type in this text so that the compiler can understand and turn it into zeros and ones. So that's what compilers and IDEs really do. So the block-based platforms you will be using, like Thunkable and CodeFerry, can be called as compilers and IDEs. But mostly when somebody says compiler, because the word compiler, they are talking about an compiler for text-based coding. Okay. And they are not talking about and are not expecting you to open, CodeFerry, okay, or Thunkable. Wait, I think I spotted something in Google. GitHub. What is GitHub? What is GitHub? Do you know? Well, we will just talk about this later in this video. So, now, if we just ignore GitHub for a second, what are the common compilers for text-based code? VS Code. We will be, learning about VS Code and using it in this module itself. Sublime text. Perhaps we are going to use, Sublime text in module 2 and not in module 1. Most likely. We are going to use brackets first, and we are also going to use Replit. And perhaps we are also going to learn CodeFerry. Perhaps. Okay. So now we just took a bit of look, at computer science and software development. But then let's come back to the core question. What is this cat? The creature which is called an octacat is not important here, but GitHub is an open source community where you can really create repositories and host your code. We will be really using GitHub later in this series. I think I have debunked a lot of stuff. So I'm just gonna do a bit of more debunking, which I always love. So the first thing which we are gonna do is So as I was saying, this is Udemy. Okay? So I will just right click and click View Page Source, and this is the source of Udemy. And if I go down and click Inspect and I click Console, I can see all the massive errors which Udemy is facing. And even if you inspect on Google, this is a small task, inspect and view source code on Google, you will find a lot of errors. Mostly. So now if I go to sources, it doesn't look like there is much here. Static Udemy, you would see. Inside that there are fonts and stuff like that. And then there is double check and cookie log. This is not much right now. Now if I go to network, this shows the waterfall and stuff like that, which is not relevant again right now. Performance. press the record button. Okay, so it's gonna record your views, it looks like, and the performance in whatever case. Okay, it's just gonna record stuff, and this is also not relevant for us. But what's relevant now is application. In application, you can see cookies, web SQL, and session storage. Now, it's storing nothing right now, you can see, even though it does have. And this is local storage. We ourselves will get to use local storage, okay, which you can see here in this module. Okay. Not in module 2, module 1 also will be used. Now that we know how to debunk our website and act as if we know more than other people, and we have superpowers, let's just watch a small video, and for the next episode we will start learning. You heard it right. Computer science. Watch the video.
I was 13 when I first got access to a computer.
My parents bought me a Macintosh in 1984 when I was 8 years old. I was in 6th grade.
I learned to code in college. Freshman year, first semester, intro to computer science.
I wrote a program to play tic-tac-toe.
I think it was pretty humble beginnings. I think the first program I wrote asked things like, what's your favorite color? Or how old are you?
I first learned how to make a green circle and a red square appear on the screen.
The first time I actually had something come up and say, hello world, and I made a computer do that. It was just astonishing.
Learning how to program didn't start off as wanting to learn all of computer science or trying to master this discipline or anything like that. It just started off because I wanted to do this one simple thing. I wanted to make something that was fun for myself and my sisters. And I wrote this little program and then basically just added a little bit to it. And then when I needed to learn something new, I looked it up either in a book or on the internet and then added a little bit to it.
It's really not unlike kind of playing an instrument or something or playing a sport. It starts out being very intimidating, but you kind of get the hang of it over time.
Coding is something that can be learned. And I know it can be intimidating. A lot of things are intimidating, but what isn't?
A lot of the coding that people do is actually fairly simple. It's more about the process of breaking down problems than, sort of coming up with complicated algorithms as people traditionally think about it.
You don't have to be a genius to know how to code. You need to be determined.
Addition, subtraction, that's about it.
You should probably know your multiplication tables.
You don't have to be a genius to code. Do you have to be a genius to read?
Even if you want to become a race car driver or play baseball or build a house, all of these things have been turned upside down by software.
What it is, computers are everywhere. You want to work in agriculture? Do you want to work in entertainment? Do you want to work in manufacturing? It's just all over.
Here we are, 2013. We all depend on technology to communicate, to bank, information, and none of us know how to read and write code.
But I do.
When I was in school, I was in this after-school group called the Whiz Kids. And when people found out, they laughed at me and, all these things. And I'm like, man, I don't care. I think it's cool. And, I'm learning a lot. And some of my friends have jobs.
Our policy is literally to hire as many talented engineers as we can find. The whole limit in the system is just that there just aren't enough people who are trained and have these skills today.
To get the very best people, we try to make the office as awesome as possible.
That's the secret.
You have a fantastic chef.
Free food.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
free laundry,
snacks, even places to play and video games and scooters. There's all these kind of interesting things around the office and places where people can play or relax or go to think or play music or be creative.
Whether you're trying to make a lot of money or whether you just want to change the world, computer programming is an incredibly empowering skill to learn.
I think if someone had told me that software is really about humanity, that it's really about helping people by using computer technology, it would have changed my outlook a lot earlier.
To be able to actually come up with an idea and then see it in your hands and then be able to press a button and have it be in millions of people's hands. I think we're the first generation in the world that's really ever had that kind of experience.
Just to think that you can start something in your college dorm room and you can have a set of people who haven't built a big company before come together and build something that 1 billion people use as part of their daily lives is just crazy to think about, right? It's humbling and it's amazing.
The programmers of tomorrow are the wizards of the future. You're going to look like you have magic powers compared to everybody else.
I think it's amazing. I think it's the closest thing we have to a superpower.
Great coders are today's rock stars. That's it.
Okay, so I hope that video left you inspired about computer science. So we will really start learning computer science with CodeOg, which is this non-profit created by Hadi Paktakovi, if I'm correct. Okay, just correct me if I'm not. Tomorrow we will start learning that in the next episode, not tomorrow, in the next episode. And you can quickly go to the next episode if you want to start learning now. That is me, Arnav Vashisth.